Round 7 of the 2024 Monsterenergy AMA Supercross will take place this Saturday in Arlington, Texas. The 250 SX East Regional Championship will also resume action for its second round. Check out our report for a look at who's out with injury. And speaking of returns, Ty Masterpool and Grant Harlan will be back in action after missing all the previous rounds due to injury. Check the latest updates with MX Update channel. Jeremy Martin had a hard crash in Detroit, and while training this week has showed some lingering signs from his concussion. His scans were all clear, and being the competitor he is, was trying his best to get back on the track to compete in Arlington. After training concluded today, the determination was made to wait one more week for precautionary measures. Concussions are a serious concern for any of our riders, and it just makes sense to make good decisions about how and when to move forward. The new plan is to line up in Daytona. Jet Reynolds recovered quickly from his AC separation in Detroit and was back on the bike relatively early. He has been active and training consistently all the way through today. Unfortunately, in the last session of the day, he crashed pretty hard, re-injuring his shoulder bad enough to require some surgery. This kid cannot catch a break, but we will stick with him. He obviously has the skill and desire to perform at the highest level. Now we just have to prove it. Wish him well on a speedy recovery. Cody Schock will represent the team in fine fashion in Arlington. He too is a big supporter of the military and has been working hard on and off the bike to get ready for the race in Texas. It is a shame that no one has been talking about his fourth place point standing, and we do not think it is a fluke. But that is why they line up on Saturdays to show who can withstand the heat. The bike is fast, Cody is fit, and the team is determined to show that he can perform under the bright lights at AT&T Stadium. Enzo Lopez will also miss Arlington Supercross this weekend, as he is still recovering from a preseason injury. The plan is for him to make his Star Racing Yamaha debut at the Dayton Supercross next weekend. AEO Powersports KTM's Derek Kelly was slated to ride the 250 SX West region, some 450 SX East rounds, and then move up to the 450 full-time in Pro Motocross. As it sits right now, DK is about 4 weeks out from getting back on the bike. He hopes to get back to the gate as soon as possible. Of course, this all depends on how he feels when he gets back on the bike. The best case scenario for Kelly is that he will be back at St. Louis, which is on March 30th. He looks forward to finishing up Supercross before moving up to the 450 for Pro Motocross. Cianciarulo is shooting for a return to racing at Daytona. Cianciarulo sustained a fracture in his hand at A1 and was able to race in the mud at the next 2 rounds, but his hand simply wasn't up to the task. Nichols is out with a damaged rotator cuff. His team tells us they're hoping he'll be back for Birmingham round 9. Following a lingering ankle injury from last season that kept him out of the early rounds of 2024, Ty Masterpool will return to action at this weekend's Monsterenergy AMA Supercross round in Arlington, Texas. Masterpool will be racing the 450 class in Supercross for the first time, hoping to follow up with his strong rides on a 450 in last year's Pro Motocross Championship. Masterpool is eager to prove he can get Supercross results, so much so that after appendix pain last summer, he skipped surgery and instead went on heavy meds so he could compete in the SMX playoffs and show he could at least ride well on hybrid-style Supercross motocross tracks. Ty does not even have a top 10 finish in his career on a 250 in Supercross. Harlan is back this weekend after a hip injury sustained at the Monsterenergy FIM Motocross of Nations kept him out of competition thus far in 2024.